What's up guys, Brian Krantz here of ContestChampion.com. Today I just want to share with you guys some of the stats that I was able to pull from my Labyrinth of Legends run that went down on Saturday. Big thank you to everybody who came and supported the run and everybody who, watched it afterwards and stuff like that. I've actually got a big list of everybody who donated that I'll go over at the end of the video as well. But in terms of stats, I was able to pull out exactly how many revives I used, how many potions I used, the total amount of potions and revives that I farmed just in preparation for this thing, the damage breakdown on Maestro since I was using more than just Gwenpool. I was using this team that you're seeing on screen here. Of course, Gwenpool is missing at the moment just because she's kind of tied up in Alliance War right now. But I did use all four of these other guys against Maestro, so I've got the damage that they were able to contribute. Should be kind of interesting, I hope. Before I get into all of this chaos, I have a few things noted over here that I want to go over. First up, I did not have to open a single 4-hour crystal, which was kind of mind-blowing to me because I thought I was going to have to burn through my entire inventory, my entire stash, open up all 700 plus of my free 4-hour crystals, and then spend some units, and I was trying to keep that unit total to under 1,000. But I thought for sure I was going to burn through all this stuff and have to spend some kind of units, and it turns out I didn't even have to open up any of the free 4-hour crystals, which I guess what I'm really trying to say is the crystal hoarding addiction is real, guys. It's a real thing. All this hard work I did preparing, farming up all these potions and revives and everything, it was just so I didn't have to open up a free 4-hour crystal. Next up, I don't know if you guys were trying to troll me or what, but at one point, a little over 6 hours into the run when I was fighting Civil Warrior, I died and you guys told me to change the death counter to 41 when I had just changed it to 40. And that was incorrect. For the most part, you guys kept really good track of every time I died and stuff like that. I really appreciate the fact that we were able to have such an accurate death counter throughout the run, but it was off just by one, just because of this instance. There was only 49 deaths in total instead of 50. I went back and I watched every single time I died here, and I reviewed the footage like 3 or 4 times all the way through against Civil Warrior just to make sure that I had the correct number, and this is in fact correct. It's only 49 in total, not 50. Next up is yet again another warning about the suicide masteries. This is something that I'm really hoping that Kabam changes. Basically, the way that the masteries work is that once you only have the liquid courage poison on you, as long as you have the appropriate healing masteries, you're able to completely negate that damage that you're taking. It totally balances out. The damage that you take every half second is healed up every half second. However, once you have a health boost active, and this includes the champion boosts that affect both your attack and health, it throws off this balance for whatever reason, and you end up taking damage. And I was taking 26 health per second as a loss just from using the boost, otherwise it would be completely even. And that might not sound like a lot, but when these fights are several minutes long, every 100 seconds I'm losing 2600 HP. Some of these fights I actually lost more life to using a boost than I did from the enemy. So yeah, that kind of sucks. It's very counterintuitive. I had to stop using boosts once I got to Colossus and once I realized just how much I was hurting myself by using these boosts. Something I've realized in the past. I've made Kabam aware of it. I'm hoping that the only reason it wasn't addressed yet is that they've had bigger fish to fry when it comes to, the evade bug and whatever other login bugs, all these other crazier bugs. I don't even know if this is a bug or if it's by design, but either way, I'm just hoping that Kabam makes a change soon, as it would have taken me less hits in total if I was able to use this boost without hurting myself, which means I probably would have died less, and leading up to Colossus, I wouldn't have taken that damage. Maybe I would have died less here too. Maybe I could have just saved myself a few deaths, and that would have been just terrific if it actually worked intuitively instead of counterintuitively. The number of total intercepts that I got was 61, and I don't know if that is accurate or not. It's somebody that was keeping count for me. This is not something that I'm not going to sit there and go through all 8 hours of the stream and count that over again. I found a lot of these numbers here. It took a long time to pull a lot of these numbers, but yeah, I don't know how accurate this is. It seems like it could be accurate though, because again, I said it 1,000 times, I'm really not good at intercepting. But if I'm stuck in a jam and I can't even take another blocked hit or I'll die, then I'll just throw out some wild intercepts. Just try to guess when the right time is to intercept. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I'll get lucky every once in a while, and that's where that number comes from. I have some timestamps here for when all of the commentators joined. Big thanks again to Joel, Dave, and Voluntaris. And also, if you wanted to see my dog, I have a timestamp there of that as well. Speaking of timestamps, I have timestamps of all the individual fights, but if you wanted to see them, all you have to do is look at the top comment on the stream itself, the video from the stream. These are all added there, so you click on the top comment, you want to find Magic, you just click right on the time, and it'll take you directly to that fight. The number of hits here looks kind of crazy if we look at Colossus. It took over 1,500 hits to bring that guy down, man. It took over 2,000 for Maestro, but this, against Maestro, it includes all of the mutant champions. If I was only using Gwenpool, which, we'll get to those damage breakdowns in just a moment, it would have actually taken less hits than it took for Colossus. Now that Gwenpool's awakened, though, I think I can negate his armor ups. I think that's how that interaction works, since those are, I believe, defensive abilities. So I think the fight would be significantly shorter. I'm tempted to go back there and try it out, but at the same time, I probably won't do that. I died the most to Maestro with a total of 9 deaths. Second most was Colossus, even though Colossus was pretty easy. It was just such an endurance match, and then losing that 26 health per second, oh man, that sucked. Venom was the actual second champion that I died to the most. If we're not counting Colossus, I died to him 5 times, and then there are a few 4 times here with Civil Warrior, War Machine, and Magic. Magic wasn't that bad. If Gwenpool was awakened, I might have been able to one-shot her. I definitely messed up a few times, and there is a little bit of RNG involved with Gwenpool's bleeds to keep the debuff active from her level 2 special ability, which completely stops her power gain. But if you're skilled enough and you get a little bit of RNG on your side, a little bit of luck on your side, with Gwenpool, even unawakened, you might be able to take her down in like 1 or 2 shots there. So pretty cool. Gwenpool, definitely good counter for the Labyrinth magic at least. In War, remains to be seen yet. It's still testing that one. As far as the number of revives I used 43 level 1 revives. I had 9 remaining in the stash for a total of 52 that I went in prepared with. Level 2 revives, I didn't use a single one, so I still had all 12 that I started the day with. When it comes to the level 1 team revives and level 2 team revives, I had 2 and 4 of each of those. I used all of those against Maestro. Potions, I'm going to skip ahead to the level 3 potions. I used 383 of them throughout the run, and I had an additional 163 in the stash. Actually, they're still in there right now, so maybe I can do this little bit of testing. But in any case, that gave me a total of 546, and because they heal for 1650 each, that means I had 900,000 health, potential health, just from using the level 3 potions that I farmed up. And that 546 number is not a coincidence, by the way. I wanted to go in with at least 540 of these potions if I could. The reason for that is the way the enemy's damage works in Labyrinth of Legends is the more health that you're missing, the higher their attack is, the more damage they're able to do to you, right? And if you're good at intercepting, you don't really take much damage anyway, unless you get hit, and if you get hit, you're probably dead anyway in a lot of cases. So a lot of players just go in with the idea of, okay, I'm just going to use a revive and try to intercept and keep a combo up with Star-Lord and stuff like that. But because I'm not good at that, I realized the best strategy for me is to heal up enough that the enemy's attack is not going to be too strong, and I'll just block and bait out heavies to find my openings and stuff like that. So I wanted to heal up enough with these potions, but I didn't want to heal up too much because I also wanted to lower my health down to right below the 50% threshold in order to gain the 20% extra damage from the Courage Mastery. So I realized that 9 potions is what I actually needed to use while having a 20% boost active, even though, as we found out, I did not use those boosts later on. But I needed to use about 9 potions in order to find like the best balance between both of those worlds. And I thought I was going to have to use about 60 revives, so 9 times 60, 540. Of course, I tried to pad it as much as possible for the fights against Magic and War Machine and Falcon, where I needed to heal up to full in order to, really negate as much damage as possible. But yeah, this is not a coincidence by any means. For the level 3 potions, I used 69 in total, and I had 78 remaining for a total of 147, and I consider these to be kind of just extras. I didn't know how many I was getting of these. I didn't keep track of these as I was farming them. When it came to the level 3 individual potions, what I would do is, I would just hop in like somebody's stream or something like that. or watch YouTube videos or whatever, and every time I killed Winter Soldier, if they dropped a potion, because he doesn't always drop a potion, if he dropped a potion, I would just add one and do it again. Just hit enter on my on my keyboard here, and just keep tallying this thing up. And I would just try to get a certain amount every day. It definitely takes a long time to get all those potions, guys. For the majority of players out there, yeah, it's going to be easier just to pay some cash, and maybe just buy revives and stuff like that, and maybe not go the potion route. But it's even though this was like a lot of work to do, it's fun for me. It's fun for me to do this stuff. But let's move on. Let's move on to the Maestro damage breakdown. So 5 champions here. My Magneto, which is a 5-star rank 2, Cyclops and Wolverine, they're both 440s. Storm is a 5-star rank 3, and Gwenpool is 5-star rank 4. And the numbers in parentheses here are, the amount of hits that I was able to do this damage, and these are the totals down here. You can see that Magneto and Cyclops, they really didn't do a whole lot. Combined, they did more than 10% of Maestro's total health. I think he had about 3.3 million, something like that. So that helps. It helps, right? If I was going to use a team revives anyway, then might as well throw them in there. It gave me a little bit of practice as well. Wolverine's damage was particularly impressive, and I think if he was a 550, then he would actually outdamage a rank 3 Storm, because I think Maestro has pretty high armor, so the bleed from Wolverine is actually pretty strong. If I could go back in time, I would love to take him to rank 5 before doing Labyrinth. Soon enough, I'll be able to take him to rank 5 for future attempts at least, so we can definitely compare the two and see how it goes in the future. But if you look at these numbers here, I did 284 total hits with Wolverine, 615 hits with Storm, and of course I did more damage with Storm, even if you averaged out the hits. The reason why I didn't get as many hits in with Wolverine is because my attack was so low that I started out in the first enrage already, so I didn't really have much time. All these deaths that you see when I had 45, 50, 51, all these mid 50 hits, I died to the enrage timer. I didn't die to just slipping up or whatever. Those were all enrage timer deaths, and if he was rank 5, I could have extended that enrage timer and gotten a lot more damage. Not only that, but of course his individual hits would be harder, his bleed damage would be stronger. So yeah, all in all, very impressed with Wolverine's damage output against Maestro. Gwenpool, of course, did the most damage though. She's rank 4 as a 5-star and very strong. She did a little over 1.5 million, which actually, now that I look at it, the mutants did more than 50% of health, of Maestro's health. If you add all these guys up, they actually did more than Gwenpool. But, in terms of like damage per hit, Gwenpool still came out on top by a pretty big margin here. I wish I did better with Gwenpool. A lot of these fights, they're low number of hits. I actually did 615 total hits with Storm, and I had 3 less attempts since I ran out of the team revives. So yeah, I definitely could have played better here, but all in all, still pretty happy with it. This final attempt here, this was the actual kill attempt. It wasn't actually 23 hits and then me dying. That was just a final kill. But yeah, all in all, very happy with how this turned out. Even though it took me, a lot of attempts here, it was mostly just using team revives and the team healing potions and stuff like that, and then just a few individual revives. And then we come to the donations, and here's where it gets really crazy. I really didn't expect this number of people to donate. There was in total about 70 of you guys, and some of you donated more than one time. That's where you could see that the number in parentheses there. Just all very generous of you guys to do that. Definitely didn't have to. I really didn't expect it, especially after 5 minutes into the stream. I said, guys, I'm not going to be able to keep up reading the donations, but you guys still donated anyway. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody who sent something over. I did take out the amount that was donated, just because there were a few donations in private, and I'm not sure if that was something that they wanted to be shown here. So I figured some kind of compromise is that I just ordered it in order of who donated the most. So especially big shout out to Q8, Graphics Inc., and Andrew Haddow. All 3 of you guys sent over probably too generous of donations, but I really appreciated it. Regardless of how much you guys sent over, I live a pretty cheap lifestyle, so I'll be able to stretch it out, even if it was just a buck or two. I can make it last pretty good. Really, the only big expense in my life is the ridiculous amount of rent that an apartment costs living in New Jersey. But other than that, I live a very cheap lifestyle, and these donations are going to go a long way into helping me achieve my goals here. And I'm going to be working extra hard in order to make sure that you guys have some good entertainment and hopefully a good website to go to soon. I read every single one of these messages that I got here. As you know, I really was not able to pay attention to every single message while also fighting my heart out in Labyrinth of Legends there. But I did read every single one of these messages, and I think it's really cool that I'm gonna have these messages forever, as they actually took me back to the run itself. Hashtag intercept the banana. It was pretty cool, man. It was like a little memory lane type thing. So I'm glad that I have these messages here permanently. I almost didn't have these messages, as if we go to the YouTube stats here, you can see here these are the super chats. These are all the super chats of the past 30 days. For you get to select which stream. Labyrinth of Legends with Gwenpool. You don't have any super chats. What? Like, thanks a lot, YouTube. Like, maybe I complain a little too much about YouTube. Like, it's overall love YouTube. It's great, but stuff like this is just kind of mind-boggling that it's not kept here. That I guess it's just a bug with YouTube super chats, but something this important, I wouldn't. It's just annoying. It's annoying. Luckily, donations also are kept track of through a third-party tool called Streamlabs that I have. So I was able to pull everybody's messages and donations from that. So it should still be accurate. If I happen to have missed yours, then I really am sorry. But I think I got everybody who donated during the stream. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody. Even if you were not able to donate, just for coming out and supporting the stream, that's really cool of you. There was a ton of you guys that checked out the stream. At one point, there was 2352 people watching at the same time, which is about 100 times more viewers than I ever thought I would have had a year ago when I first started the channel. So yeah, thank you very much to everybody, and it was largely positive, almost completely positive. So yeah, thank you very much. At least, well, maybe I don't know, because I don't know what messages got deleted, who got banned or whatever, but it seemed like it was almost entirely positive, so thank you very much, guys. There was in total over 23,000 chat messages. Crazy stuff, man, crazy stuff. So yeah, like I said, regardless of if you sent over monetary support or not, just any kind of support, I will take it, man. Thank you very much, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed some of these stats breakdown that I was able to do. Next time I'm going to be more prepared, and yeah, I'll plan out a spreadsheet ahead of time, as this was kind of a pain to go back and try to pull out all this data. But hopefully somebody out there finds it useful, or at least interesting. But in any case, guys, that's going to do it for this one. I will see you in the next video. Take care.